The wrongs which we seek to condemn and punish have been so calculated, so malignant, and so devastating that civilization cannot tolerate their being ignored because it cannot survive their being repeated. Justice Robert Jackson. On this day in history, October 1st, 1946, 12 high-ranking members of the Nazi Party were sentenced to death by the International War Crimes Tribunal held in Nuremberg. Ribbentrop, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Göring, founder of the Gestapo, and Wilhelm Frick, Minister of the Interior, were among those condemned to death. 7 others, including Adolf's former deputy, were given prison sentences that ranged from 10 years to life. Held between 1945 and 1949, 13 trials were carried out to bring Nazi war criminals to justice. The Nuremberg Trials, despite their controversial legal justifications, are now considered a significant milestone in establishing a permanent international court and setting a precedent for addressing future genocides and other crimes against humanity. However, setting up the trials wasn't easy. There was no previous precedent for an international trial for war crimes. A prior instance occurred in the United States during the American Civil War, and a court-martial was held by Turkey in 1919 to punish those responsible for the Armenian genocide. But the laws of a single nation conducted those trials. In this case, the 4 Allied powers, France, Britain, the United States, and the Soviet Union, came together to establish the laws and procedures for the trials through the London Charter of the International Military Tribunal, or IMT. Issued on August 8, 1945, the Charter defined 3 categories of crimes: war crimes, crimes against peace, and crimes against humanity. In addition to military officers, civilian officials could also be accused of war crimes. The city of Nuremberg in Bavaria was chosen as a location for the trials because its Palace of Justice had minor damage after the war and included a large prison area. Additionally, the city had been host to annual propaganda rallies, and hosting the trials post-war meant a symbolic end to the Third Reich. Although the trials, which started with the major war criminals in November 1945, took several years, 199 defendants were tried, 161 were convicted, and 37 were sentenced to death.